Good morning.
Morning.
And by a show of hands, and yes, I'm going to ask you to participate, so get ready. By a show of hands, how many of you have ever been lost? Okay, well, almost everyone. How many of you have known someone else who's been lost? Okay, it should be everybody, right? Today I want to share with you about the time my brother Josh was lost. When I was 8 years old, my family went to the Exploratorium, a massive interactive science museum in San Francisco. With over 600 exhibits, this place is no joke. When we got to the museum, my mom pointed out a first aid station that we were going to use as a meeting point in case any of us got lost. Now, none of us had ever been lost before, but this is a really big museum, so we wanted to take extra precautions. As we traveled through exhibits about physics and astronomy, biology, we came to this one exhibit about eyes. I don't remember anything else about it, only that it was about eyes. And it was at this point that we realized we couldn't see my brother Josh, who was 10 at the time, anymore. We were in an exhibit about eyes, but we couldn't see him. So we went to the prior exhibit and the next exhibit, and we still couldn't find him. At this point, we started to worry a little bit. But as I told you before, we had a prearranged meeting point. So we went to the first aid station, and he wasn't there. And I think this is around the time when I started crying. And my uncle decided to go search the museum for him while the rest of us waited to see if he would show up. My mom explained to the employees what had happened, and do you know what they said to her? Well, have you called his cell phone yet? Okay, this was 2008, before everyone had cell phones, and he was 10, so no, he didn't have a cell phone, so no, we had not called his cell phone. So instead, they paged him over the intercom. And my mom handed the employees a picture of him, and they sent out a search team in the museum, and they prepared to go out into the streets of San Francisco to look for my brother. Now, this situation seemed really serious, and I was very scared. But thankfully, my uncle came back from his scouting mission with my brother right by his side. Josh explained that he had gone to the meeting point and waited for a while, but then he had to go to the bathroom, so he left, and that's where my uncle found him. Even though we wanted to scold him for not following the plan, we were so excited to be back together as a family again that we couldn't help but rejoice. We found the person we had lost, and our family was complete again. The passage we're going to look at today is also about something lost. It's a story about a woman who loses a coin, commonly known as the parable of the lost coin. As I read and throughout my message this morning, I invite you to consider this. Why is this coin so important? Feel free to follow along with me on your sheets as I read the text for this morning. This is Luke 15, 8 through 10. Or what woman, having 10 silver coins, if she loses one of them, does not light a lamp, sweep the house, and search carefully until she finds it? When she has found it, she calls together her friends and neighbors, saying, "Rejoice with me, for I have found the coin that I had lost." Just so, I tell you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents. This passage is the second of the 3 lost parables Jesus tells in the Gospel of Luke. A parable is a short, simple story with components of daily life, such as a coin, that has a greater moral lesson. Jesus used parables to help us understand the significance behind complex ideas. Because of the time gap between us and Jesus, the significance of things that were formerly commonplace, like a coin, may not be the same to us today. So here's what's happening. Many scholars believe that this coin was part of this woman's dowry. A dowry is the money or goods or land that a woman brings into a marriage when she gets married. And in biblical times, many women had a dowry made up of 10 coins that would be bound together into a headdress that she would wear, sort of like a veil when she got married, and then keep for the rest of her life. With this in mind, it makes more sense that she was willing to go to all this trouble to find this one coin, since it was part of a set. This coin has special value to her, not merely because of its monetary value, but also because of its sentimental value. She loves this coin. If Jesus were to tell a parable like this today, perhaps we would use the example of a wedding ring and an engagement ring. Before they're made, they're just pieces of metal and rock. But after they're made, but before they're purchased, they're beautiful, but they don't have any sentimental value to them. An engagement ring symbolizes a promise to get married, and a wedding ring serves as a reminder of the lifelong commitment a couple makes to love and cherish each other. Once a couple gets engaged and then married, these rings become so precious and valuable. If a woman were to lose her engagement ring or her wedding ring, her first thought probably wouldn't be, "Oh man, I just lost a ton of money," but instead, wow, this ring had a lot of significance to me, and I'm sad that I don't have it. She would definitely go search for her ring right away if she lost it, right? So returning to the Gospel of Luke, we see the same sense of urgency in the way the woman goes about finding her lost coin. And yet, there's also tenderness in her searching. She longs for this coin. As she seeks after it, we see 3 active steps. Number 1, she finds a lamp and oil. Number 2, she gets a broom. And number 3, she does not stop searching until she finds it. These are all active things. She doesn't just sit and think about her coin. When she finds the coin, we read that she experiences abundant joy. This joy is immense excitement, not only because she found this particular coin, but because all the coins are reunited. There's a sense of completion. And because of her great joy, she can't help but call together her friends and neighbors to have a party and celebrate. She doesn't celebrate that she now has more money to go buy things. The depth of the love she has for this coin is not based on its monetary value. Instead, she celebrates that the coins are all back together and that her dowry is complete again, because she loves these coins and she wants everyone to come together to share in her joy, this deep contentment that came as a result of wholeness. I see God in the actions of this woman. The 3 steps this woman takes parallel those God takes in seeking us. Like this woman was in finding her coin, God is active in the pursuit of our hearts. First, like the lamp she lit, God brings light to the dark places of our hearts with great love and care. Second, the broom she used brushed away dust, and God's truth about how loved we are wipes away the lies that say that we aren't enough. God brings light to the dark places, brushes away the lies that say we aren't good enough. And thirdly, God never stops seeking after us. God searches until we are found. God lovingly longs for us and searches carefully to find us, and tenderly, desperately desires to be in relationship with us. When we enter into a relationship with God, the joy God experiences is abundant and overflowing. God calls together all of heaven to celebrate. In the kingdom of God, we have the same desire for each other that God has for us. We have our eyes open to the truth that God longs for us, and we want to share that good news with everyone else. That this joy is, by nature, meant to be shared. It's communal. We all long for the wholeness that takes place when the lost coins are found and the people of God come together. It's easy to see this parable as just for the lost person, but it's actually for everyone. The community rejoices when the woman finds her lost coin. They all celebrate what God has done in her life. God longs for us and seeks us and finds us, and then we all get to celebrate. Though this is called the parable of the lost coin, I think a better title might be the parable of the found coin. What matters is that the coin, and each one of us, has the potential to be found, not that it was lost in the first place. At the beginning of my message, I told you I was going to tell you a story about the time Josh was lost, but it's actually a story about the time he was found. Finding him that day made me appreciate him and the special bond we had as a family so much more. The best part of the day was not seeing all the cool exhibits, but instead driving home as a family with everyone present and safe. So too is it when we are found by God. When we enter into a relationship with God, we are seen, we are known, we are loved, and we are whole. We never again have to wonder if we are wanted or valued, because we know that the God of the universe sought after us until we were found and sees us as precious and priceless. Friends, God longs to be in relationship with every person and rejoices when that becomes a reality. I challenge you to see yourself and those around you as people who God longs to be in relationship with. At the beginning of NSO, I felt like a little lost coin wandering around, not knowing who my friends were going to be or what I would get involved in. But then I found an amazing community here at Pepperdine. In this community, everyone is welcome and everyone belongs, and we celebrate together. This morning, as we are at Celebration Chapel, let's celebrate what God is doing. God has never stopped and will never stop seeking us. And God delights in drawing us close to one another through our whole community, where nobody is lacking or left out. That is something worth celebrating. Please pray with me.